Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Green Team of the Legendarium. I'm your host, Befuddled Panda, and today we have Seeker
Hello there.
and Kyptan.
Hello.
I mean, Cryptran or something.
Why don't you throw a third R in there?
Cryptraner.
Cryptran the Kryptonian.
We have a very exciting episode today. Well, first of all, I'll say that this episode covers a book called Letters from the Last Apothecary by Bita Behzadi. And Green Team received an arc of this courtesy of NetGalley and Penguin Random House. We thank them for the early copy for review. All opinions are our own, and Letters from the Last Apothecary releases on June 9th, 2026. So very soon at the time of this recording, and it'll have released already by the time you hear this. We hope you enjoy this episode. Okay, so I want to say this book came to us, very much out of left field. The publicist, shout out to Pip Davidson, they found our suggestion box, which, by the way, we do have a suggestion box. You can find the link in our show notes. And the description that he put in his message to us really got us very interested and excited to read this story. I'll just share a little bit of what he told us that got us excited. Pip said, Beta's book is part epistolary driven love story, part snarky commentary on the corporate grind, part absolutely magical charm, all set in an alternative fantasy version of Chicago during the Industrial Revolution. And the author has even said that the book is basically, quote, bisexual propaganda that will turn more readers gay than the water that turned the frogs gay. I don't know if you guys would agree, but we'll leave that to Kip, who can represent us there.
I don't know. That water's pretty strong stuff.
So, with that, how we're going to do this is we're going to start with a spoiler free discussion, and then we will jump into spoilers since this book will have released. Okay, to start us off for the non spoiler section, just a quick go around of yes, no, did you like it? Did it meet your expectations? And like, who would you recommend this to? So, Kip, do you want to start?
Okay, I liked this book. I did. I had a couple issues with it and it maybe not being perfectly for me,
Sure.
but I definitely know some people who will gobble this up and say, next, please.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, I should say this is the first in a series, and this is a debut, so that's exciting.
Yeah. And you can feel the debut. You can also, I think, possibly feel a few points where some edits changed and maybe they weren't as retroactively enforced as
Mm.
maybe the continuity editor inside of me wants them to be.
Uh-huh.
But overall, this is going to I think I will give this to all of my friends who love TJ Klune books.
Oh, yeah, that's a good pick, yeah, good comp.
And also the ones who like Everina Maxwell, maybe some of the people who loved This Is How You Lose the Time War.
Mhm.
Anyone who likes dry British humor in epistolary form, anyone who likes a tale of two plucky individuals, maybe one of them significantly more dour and jaded than the other. Uh, anyone who loves a disaster bisexual who holds it together at his work and then explodes in his private life. Um,
Are you speaking from
yeah.
experience?
Look, I am on the record as being a huge fan of the disaster twink and disaster bi genres.
Mhm, you sure are.
And I'm really sad that we never got an episode of Archive Undying recorded because I would be even more on the record then.
Wait, really? Is
Yeah.
that okay, well, that's a separate conversation. We'll talk about that later.
And if you want to talk about pronoun confusion or just point of view confusion, that's the book to talk about.
Ah, okay, interesting.
But no, I had a good time, and because this was short, I forgive it a lot of its sins. I
Mm.
forgive it, a lot of it. What I feel is it being perhaps a bit too rushed and shallow. That's fine. It's under 300 pages. That's not my genre. That's not where I find home.
I think it would be like a good palate cleanser,
Yeah,
in between,
yeah.
like,
This is a beach read.
heavy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, great. How about you, Seeker?
My elevator pitch would be a wonderfully delightful popcorn book.
Mm.
You just read it for the fun of reading it. As for who would like it, my only comparisons would possibly be the entire Meg Ryan, what's his name? Notting Hill dude. Um,
Hugh Grant, is
Never
that?
saw it.
Hugh Grant genre. I mean, not both of them, but the Meg Ryan's like comedy romance movies and the Hugh Grant comedy romance movies.
Uh-huh.
If you like those, you'll probably like this.
That I'm glad you brought that up 'cause, in, like, the publisher blurbs, or like, it gives the vibes of You've Got Mail and, Emily Wilde, that series, and I had never seen You've Got Mail, at least I didn't remember it, and once we got this book, I was like, "Okay, I gotta watch that." It's a classic. I wanna know what it's about, and I really enjoy I mean, I have some
Well,
qualms about how it
the
ended, but
classic is something I actually wrote this into my review because it's not based on You've Got Mail. It's based on the movie You've Got Mail is based on,
oh, okay.
which Meg Ryan actually plays the daughter of the original couple in The Shop Around the Corner, which is the original
Oh,
movie
okay.
starring, well, I wrote it down. I'm blanking on his name. Um, It's a Wonderful Life dude. Well, anyway, we'll
Jim
get to that when I read my review.
Okay, okay. Well, now I have to watch that because I haven't watched that either, and I haven't read Emily Wilds, but I know enough. It's if listeners are familiar with those stories, then you would know that it's an enemies to lover trope. For me, I this was fun. It was just a fun, quick read. There were some suspense and intrigue and banter, quibbling. This did do an interesting, take on the miscommunication trope, which typically
Mhm.
I am just not a fan of miscommunication tropes. And this one, I at least found it tolerable. So
I agree. There were a couple times in my second read through when I was like, if they were just being honest with each other, half of this wouldn't happen. But then again, I realized, yeah, people aren't as honest with each other as we'd like to pretend we are. So it's
mhm.
realistic in that sense.
Sure. Kip.
And there's the whole, like, dancing around the topic that you kinda always do when you're talking about issues of deep systemic inequalities. There's a
Mhm.
bit of that,
Mhm.
and people tend to get mad when you actually bring up the topic in a way and expect it to get resolved.
Mhm. True.
So you just kinda hint at it, and maybe
Yeah.
you get frustrated internally. And there's a lot of them reacting to each other's, like, moods more than anything that they say.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, and they're both interpreting each other's moods and actions because in this book, the characters can actually see each other's magic, which is linked to their moods. So when their magic goes chaotic, they know the other
Mm.
person is thinking chaotic thoughts or whatever. And the
It's a very Perrin smelling people phenomenon.
Okay. Yeah. And but everything is being interpreted through the matrix of their own personal history and bias. So they're
Yes.
not actually they're not actually thinking what is the other person thinking based on the what I know about the other person. It's all they're getting angry. When people have gotten angry at me, it was because of this, therefore it must be this.
Right, right, right. Yeah, their own bias is definitely very prevalent. Okay. Anything else you wanna say for the spoiler-free section?
I highly recommend for an enjoyable road trip.
Oh, yes, because you listened to the audiobook
Yes, I am
version.
audiobook only, and the audiobook is done very well. A man reads the man sections, a woman reads the woman sections. Just a good high quality. Sorry to the artists who read it, I don't know your names, but, it was done very well.
Oh, nice. Okay, so we are going to switch over to full spoilers. So if you don't wanna be spoiled, now would be a good time to click away, go read the book, and then come back. If you don't care about spoilers, then hang out.
Or maybe you've already read the book and you just wanna know what we actually think about this book.
Or that too.
Okay, one minor spoiler coming in. 3, 2, 1. This book is a romance.
Is that a spoiler?
This book is a romance, and that is important to know about this book. And now we can do real
Yes, it
spoilers if we want.
Wait, is that really a spoiler though? It's like
I,
marketed
some
as.
people really consider that a spoiler, and so I'm jokingly
uh,
calling it a spoiler now.
well, I mean, if you wanna get technical, it's a comedy romance. It's a
And
rom-com
the
book.
reason that I'm bringing it up now is because I want to make sure that we focus all of our criticism through that lens.
Oh, for sure. Okay.
Well, we're not exactly gonna do highbrow literary criticism.
Because character motivation and character knowledge has to be primary when we're talking about this book, because the moments that they start to fall for each other, or the moment that Reed decides that he's fallen in love with her before he knows who she is, before he knows that she's Mrs. Davis, that is incredibly important. And I think
Yes.
we need to understand the wish fulfillment there.
Oh, for sure. Okay. I guess in our, spoiler-free discussion, we didn't specifically say the word romance, but in like what I read from Pip, he does mention love story.
Oh, sure. Hey, love stories can be tragic.
True, true, true. But
Yeah,
this is
Romeo and
also like
Juliet's a love story.
comedy and magical charm
Yes.
and
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
but there's also
okay.
a murder in the middle.
That is true. There is a murder in the middle. Okay, I'll pass it to Seeker for the summary.
Okay. This book is a brilliant and creative reimagining of the 1940 classic movie The Shop Around the Corner, starring Jimmy Stewart and Margaret Sullivan. Those who aren't into classic black and white movies will probably remember its 1998 remake called You've Got Mail, with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. Letters from the Last Apothecary takes place in Tressport, a city that compares to early 1900s Chicago. In this book, Josephine, known as Josie, is a talented but outspoken, ostentatious, and assertive woman whose magical talents defy gender stereotypes. Desperate to escape the round hole her family is trying to shove her into, and dismissed from her job in a secretary typing pool, Josie finds work at an apothecary. It is owned and run by an elderly and lovable Mr. Gornoff. And, unbeknownst to everyone, the stuffy and hidebound Reed, Mr. Gornoff's adopted son, is actually her anonymous pen pal and secret flame. Sparks erupt as the personalities of the rule bound, socially awkward, and dour Reed clash with those of the innovative, outgoing, and cheerful Josie. Will the sparks bring their unknown passion for each other into the open? Or will the in real life conflicts burn their love as fire consumes the words filled with passionate truth but composed of paper and ink? Listen to our spoiler section to find out.
Nice.
And now that I have my voice back, I could do that.
Woo!
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Kip did mention that, yes, this is a romance book, capital R. So we know how it's going to end.
Well, I don't know. It could be a tragic romance.
No. Capital R romance, a happily ever after type.
Gotta have the happily ever after.
This is a series, so I'm curious if the sequels, like the books following, would follow the same characters or follow different characters, and it would be more like
Maybe
companion.
Willie
Yeah, maybe Willie. We didn't he kinda, like, left the
ducked out.
story
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
for a bit.
as soon as the murder plot.
Other than his specific magical talent, he's pretty much invisible throughout this book.
No, really, it's the second half that he gets sidelined
Right.
for his own safety.
Mhm. So maybe it
Mhm.
will follow Willie. I'd be interested because he also has really cool capabilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that stuck out to me in this book is how the hell did these two become pen pals? That is never revealed.
No,
Yeah, it
it's
is. It's in
yeah.
the beginning.
Did someone answer like a newspaper ad or something?
No,
No.
no, it was in the library books that they were borrowing. It was in an entreaty to return on
Right,
maintaining a
but how
surprise
I'm okay.
trait. The
So I check
librarian connected them.
Oh,
Yeah.
the librarian connected them.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
catch that. I noticed the conflict about the library book, and I'm going, okay, what's this got to do with anything?
That's how it started. it got started on 2 books. It started on
Okay, so
Maintaining the
maybe in the
Straight Straight
1900s
and
that happened, but these days, if a library book is overdue, I'm hearing from the library, not from the person who wants it.
yeah, well, things
Well,
work differently here.
I
Yes.
think, was it Josie wanted a book that, Reed had?
No, it was Reed. Reed
The other way
wanted a
around?
book.
Okay.
Yep,
So, you know, they're both pretty persistent people.
Oh, yes.
yep. And
Yes.
then Josie
Josie in a
wanted Principles
very
of Metallochemistry.
Mhm.
uh-huh. Yeah,
Metallochemy,
Josie in a very
sorry.
outspoken way, Reed in a very quiet, resentful way.
So
Oh,
why don't we start there?
put upon, not resentful.
Why don't we start there? Let's talk about the 2 main characters. What did you think of them? How did you find their character development? And, did they fit the story?
Well, I'll tell you what, it makes total sense that that apothecary was going broke based on how Reed treated everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reed and Goranov, what were they doing? Just being like, "Okay, positive thinking is gonna get us through this."
I don't a miracle? I think they were more, like, waiting for something to come and save them
I think
rather than, like, making
there
it happen.
Goranov was just like, "I just want things to return to the past, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
pray that that happens without conscious intervention."
I
right.
think Goronov's wife was the motivator behind everything,
Yeah.
and I think Goronov, he says he resented being an apothecary person. He was trapped in it. So he has no motive for innovation, and I think he just was, like, trying to keep everything exactly the way his wife had it, whether it's consciously or not, as a kind of way of keeping her alive or around, and just
Yeah.
had no motivation to make any changes or improve anything.
Uh, I think also, like, what we got to see, between Reed and Goranov was, different ways of processing grief,
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
Yeah.
Goronov's way of processing grief was, like, to just stay stuck, right?
Uh-huh.
And for Reed, he was looking to Goranov for, what's it called? Like
Praise, approval,
yeah,
Fraternal
love.
approval.
acceptance. Yeah.
Yeah, and because he didn't get that from Goranov, he also was stunted in his way of, like, to be able to process grief. Because he
Well,
was grieving for 2, right? He was grieving for his own mother and
uh-huh.
for Clara.
I think Reed also, like, I think it's deeper than he couldn't get it from Goranov, as much as Goranov and, like, the way, possibly because he was only raised by his mother, Reed couldn't recognize signs of affection coming from Goranov. And Goranov was obviously very sparing in the way he doled out affection and approval, but Reed couldn't even see the ones that were there.
Mhm.
And he was also waiting for the day when it would all be taken away from him.
Yes,
Goranov or Reed?
No, Reed was.
Reed.
Okay.
I think
Reed,
Goranov was
Reed
just waiting for the day he died.
Goranov was waiting for the day that Reed would stop depending on him,
Mm,
Mhm.
hoping that that would happen and then he could die
Yeah. Yeah, like Reed would just one day just take over and, be
or
the heir
leave
and yeah. Or
and
leave,
find
yes.
someplace that he was happier because
Mhm.
Goranov had a big problem seeing outside of himself. And so he was like, okay, I'd love to see you go off to the university or go off and be, a metallochemist or whatever that profession is.
Mhm.
Something that would leave him to self implode in his grief all alone
Yeah.
aw.
with no dependence other than Willie, who he could certify as an apothecarist, and then he'd be done. Nobody would be dependent on him anymore, and he could go and kill himself or something,
Mm,
or just die in obscurity.
Yeah, I think he strikes me more as the kind who would just give up and his body would just shut down.
Yep.
mm.
Yeah. Yeah, very much.
Go build a shrine to his wife.
Yes. Yeah, it's not uncommon for people who build their entire identity around their loved one and then their loved one dies.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, even the apothecary was his wife's thing. It wasn't really his.
Reed doesn't have the confidence to take charge of his own life.
No, Reed is hyper dependent on rules.
And hyperdependent on external approval.
Mhm.
Because to be fair to Reed, if he doesn't get that external approval, his constant fear is that he's going to be institutionalized.
That
Right.
is true.
Yeah. This actually struck me as one of the subversions of actually our world gender stereotypes of the early 1900s, because women who were too assertive, too outgoing, too happy, or too depressed could be institutionalized for hysteria.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And in this case, we have a woman who is like almost stereotypical male in her, shall we say, negotiating tactics,
Mhm.
and a man who is so withdrawn and so like watches every word he says to make sure it's perfect because he's terrified that if he says or does anything wrong, he's going to be institutionalized.
Mhm.
And I mean, this book plays with gender roles. It's one of the best I've seen in a long time that I think both subverts gender roles, but also uses gender stereotypes in a positive way without making them look stupid. Especially in the last third of the book.
I, on the other hand, didn't think it was too cute by half, but maybe too cute by an eighth about it.
Well, the one question I had for you guys was, did you feel this book was too preachy?
Yes. But
Not
but
if you've
that but
read
that's a
1900s
popular
fiction.
genre.
I mean, I've read Uncle Tom's Cabin and Frankenstein, and God, are they far more preachy.
Okay. I mean, the the messages and, like, what the potentially the author wants to
Yeah.
convey
If we
is
place it
pretty
within the
clear.
world of 1900s fiction, it's not very preachy at all. If we place it within the modern, or even like the Broken Earth trilogy, it's not preachy at all. But if we
When
put
when
it
I
in
com
like
when I
rom-com
compared to TJ
popcorn,
Klune, absolutely
yeah, who
not
I've never
preachy
read.
in comparison.
I see. Okay. Did it detract from your enjoyment of the book?
Yes.
Okay.
Slightly.
Did you wish it was more subtle?
Well, there were only one or two of her letters were like, "We're seriously going here? Okay." You
Yeah, the
know.
whole religious aspect of it to me was it felt a little bit forced. I wasn't quite sure, like, why
Really?
it yeah.
That was, like, the least forced bit about it to me.
I
It also
I I
felt like
mean,
the least repeated aspect of it.
yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, though, I mean, in 1900s America, you had the whole Catholic Protestant thing going on.
Mhm.
There were major, and let's not forget the no Jews or allowed, So religion was a major thing. Religious discrimination was just huge in late 1800s, early 1900s America.
I guess, like, when I was thinking of the about the industrialization, I was really thinking more about, like, the progression of technology and the clashing of, like, the manual labor
Mhm.
versus the new
Well, that was
way.
happening at the exact same time.
No, I understand that. So, I wasn't so much, like, thinking about more of like, social and religious
Mhm.
aspect as much, which obviously this book does also encompass.
The thing that I was not expecting was this being a world where there's, like, an equivalent of the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire, but it's blamed on magic.
I don't think I'm familiar
Because what
with that.
when Josie's you're not familiar with the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire?
No.
No, me neither.
Uh, it was a famous fire in, I think it was like a clothing company
Okay.
where, the workers had a habit of getting rest from the sweltering conditions. It was in New York City, I think, and they had a habit of, like, getting rest by going out onto the fire escape or out onto, like, the balcony in order to cool down. And so the management of the company chained the fire escape shut, and then there was a fire, and then people died.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yeah, you definitely see that in the opening scene with the big fire that was blamed on magic, and Josephine's like, it was, well, you could blame magic, or you could blame a large building with too many people and not enough exits
Yeah,
and unsafe working conditions.
Mm, okay. Huh, learned something new.
Which industrial accidents
Oh, yeah.
in the early 1900s basically led to a lot of our OSHA regulations.
exactly. Yep.
So, yeah.
And that was the level of subtle commentary that I was fine with.
Okay.
It was like, "Okay, cool. Triangle Shirtwaist Fire. Yeah, I remember that from high school history."
Yeah,
And
blocked a lot of that out.
I do not get in the original blurb that was sent to us by the publisher, turn people gay? I don't get it. Like, if
Uh
you enjoy this book, it'll make you gay? I mean, I don't get nobody in this book is gay.
Um, Reed
there's certainly
was
there's a, I would say a preponderance of the people in this book are gay.
Okay, well, I
Reed is
obviously missed it.
definitely at least bisexual,
Yeah, Reed's
and
bi. His roommates, at least one of them is gay.
yeah.
Josie's got family members who are gay or bi,
Yes, it's mentioned.
and it seems to be entirely within her religious framework that it's like equal, and there's no obvious homosexuality in this book at all. Sorry, there's no obvious homophobia in this book at all, and that is
Mhm.
No.
definitely a genre a lot of people are into in secondary world fantasy.
Mm.
And I'm
Okay.
personally of the opinion that there's way more bisexual people than are willing to admit it in real life. And
I would agree.
some
Mhm.
of them just need a little breath of, hey, what if I didn't live in a homophobic society? And do I feel this way? Would I like to get drunk with my boys and go out and have a fun time? Maybe I would.
Mhm.
But term people gay is also just marketing speak for a certain LGBTQ demographic these days. And I'm not entirely sure I agree with it, but I also have a shirt that says everyone is gay. So
Nice. Does that answer your question or
More or less, more or less. The marketing speak, I'd never heard it before. It just completely threw me.
I think it's just that they didn't make it a big deal in the society.
Okay.
It just is.
Right, which is I mean, it's anachronistic, but the book isn't a real world book, so even though it pulls on a lot of
Yeah,
stereotypes and events from the real world.
right.
yeah, it's got an interesting mesh of technological levels. I'll say that for sure.
Mhm.
You wanna
Which
speak
makes
I
more
love
on
sense.
that?
technologies.
Not really, because it's less than 300 pages.
It's almost like super early steampunk, the way
Yep.
they're just barely beginning to combine magic and tech.
Yeah.
And to be clear, the way that like metals work seems to be very different in this world if you can burn them up with certain plants and radically change their properties.
That is true. I mean,
Yeah.
I did
Well, at least they're not
appreciate
ingesting them.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
maybe it'll be in the next book. I did appreciate, like, we got enough understanding of how the magic worked, especially also, like, the difference between the intuitive magic and the structured magic,
Mhm.
and then there was
We got a
still
vibe.
yeah, there was still enough just like, it's just magic, you know? Like, you don't have to understand exactly how
Yeah.
everything works.
There's a lot
Super
of
soft
hand
magic.
wavium. This is not Sanderson.
No.
No. With a few runes, you too can detect spelling errors in every word that you see.
Yes, but it won't
She's
tell you the
still a
correct
terrible
spelling.
speller.
It'll tell you it's wrong, but won't tell you how to spell it right. Yeah, I actually caught that the second read through when Reed's like, "Well, maybe if I had been checking her ledgers, I'd have noticed her bad spelling."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that's something to point out is, um, in the audiobook, did the audiobook actually make a point to say if a word was misspelled?
Yeah, well, there's the scene in the at the very beginning when she's getting
Yes,
fired.
there's that one. But then later, there were letters that
No, no,
Miss
no,
Davis
no. The letters
okay.
do not tell you they're misspelt.
Okay. So I guess that would be like one benefit of reading it like with your eyeballs is you can see the spelling.
Oh,
And
wow.
there was I mean, it's not like egregious most of
Right.
the
Well, like
time.
that one word in the beginning, she thought it only had one S
Accommodate.
when it was missing an E.
It was the word accommodate. She was like,
Okay.
"Oh,
Yep.
it needs 2 C's or
Oh, yeah,
whatever,
it
or
it
2
only has
M's."
one C or M or whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah. But then there was a letter, like, towards the end of the book where I was like, "Okay, I actually can't tell if this is misspelled because I'm reading an arc," which there were definitely typos and things because we read a review copy, or if this is, like, part
Mhm.
of the actual story. And then later on, Reed makes a mention of, like, her terrible spelling in the letters. I was like, "Okay, this is intentional."
As someone with terrible spelling, as you noticed from my attempt to spell, Legendarium, um, I don't know if I'd have even noticed. Half the time I see a meme and the comments are about the spelling, I have to go back in and try to hunt for the
Uh,
misspelled words. I do
I
not
noticed the
see them.
spelling and it kicks me out of the story every time. which is why one of the reasons I'm having a real problem with the Wars of Light and Shadow books is because those are full of typos.
Oh, really? Like, intentional or
They're full of
non-intentional?
not unintentional typos and also tons of archaic words, and I'm always like, okay, was this intentional?
What about, have you ever read a book? I once read a Shatner book, and it was loaded with what I thought were misspellings, and turned out they were just spelled in Canadian.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Mhm.
So we talked about the character. Anything else you wanna say about Josie or Reed or the more major characters?
I like the idea that Reed has this a male version of RBF.
He sure does. It's resting
I
bitch face if you didn't know.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah,
some people
definitely.
just are more stoic and stern looking.
I will say that there were so few characters though that the murder suspect was immediately apparent.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. And I got bad vibes from him the whole book. So
Yeah.
He just seemed too good to be true.
He was definitely your corporate villain,
he
Yeah.
was your evil
masquerading
gay.
as Mhm.
Well, yeah.
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 I didn't notice it till now, but yes, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was wondering honestly if he was planning on killing the whole apothecary because he'd been like taking his personal success from tips from Reed.
Oh.
And like
Mhm.
Reed joining the academy, the university was about to like uncover that.
Oh. Okay, that's an interesting thought.
That was a thought I had. Didn't turn out to be true, but
No. That was a good thought.
I thought maybe this book was going to go like interdisciplinary studies are so rare that our protagonist, because of his apothecary, like applying that, and like I had the idea that applying apothecary knowledge to university or industrial studies was just so unusual that he
Mm.
was getting all this acclaim from it,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and that it would quickly come out that Reed was the source of everything if their
Mm.
connection and Reed's interdisciplinary studies ever came to light.
Mhm. Well, you weren't completely wrong in that there was somebody else involved
Yeah.
that he took advantage of for his success.
Mhm. Who later vanished.
Yeah. I mean, charm and wealth, it's very deceptive.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, just a decent amount of charm. I think
Look, tenure is cutthroat.
oh, yeah. But no, I think it was
Department
mentioned in
chair.
here how we're hardwired to view was it mentioned in this book that we're hardwired to view pretty people as good and nice and ugly people as evil?
Yeah.
I might be getting it confused
Also,
with a different book I just read, but
honestly, I forget. But I also kind of wanted a courtroom scene where,
Mm,
where like he was found not guilty or something, or charges were dismissed based on some technicality of evidence.
mm.
Instead of just this rapid summation of, he was exiled to the countryside and never seen again.
Mhm,
I actually like how it ended, like, not like
It was fast. It was so fast.
it was
I
fast,
I
but
know I complain about Hob endings taking too long, but
but I think it was fitting and, like, how more, like, realistic it really was, the happy ending wasn't necessarily that Charles got, his just desserts. It was, more that the 2 of the couple got together, but
mhm,
it was more realistic in that, Charles was able to escape the legal repercussions,
mhm.
but his social ostracization, I think that was actually more satisfying because he still
For
has to
someone with his
live.
personality, yes.
Yeah.
I also loved the bit about where Josie's mom recognized
the
Alphidius
book
as a
series?
name. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to talk about that. Yeah.
Mm,
As far as surrogate families go, I'm not sure he could wish for one that could fit him so well.
Mhm.
mm,
Yeah, and he's half Native American, they're, like, half immigrant India, Middle East, maybe, it's hard to tell, but
I would not even attempt to put nationalities from our world onto this one.
oh, I got definite, what do you call it? Like, either East Balkan or somewhere between the Balkans and Southeast Asia. is what I was not well, sorry, not Southeast, Southwest Asia. That's the vague vibe I got.
I mean, I think the vague is the point.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, they could have been anything from Romani to, people from India, which is you're talking massive geographical difference. But, like, they weren't French, obviously. They weren't Russian, definitely not, or
Matrilineal.
Chinese, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I did appreciate the matrilineal, and then it became even more clear when Reed signed his letter with the surname Panova,
Mm.
Yep. I like religious characters who only go on the holidays.
the major and the minor.
Yeah.
I got major, the moment they said the major and the minor holidays, I'm thinking, Reform Judaism? That's a running
I
joke
got
in Reform Judaism.
weekend Christians
Yeah,
Uh,
that the ones who only show up for Easter and Christmas and, uh,
and the bake sales.
yeah, and the bake sales, yeah. Is major and minor holidays a big like, a recognized term in certain Christian circles? Because it wasn't in the ones I grew up in, but
Yes,
okay.
and I actually have two separate calendars on my Google Calendar for major and minor Christian holidays.
Oh, wow. Okay.
covering your bases.
Is that limited to, like, Catholic and Lutheran, or is that in Church of England, or is that
Minor
wider?
Catholic specifically.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know very little about actual Catholic liturgy and practice, so
I also have a Protestant calendar layer when I need it, but
well, Protestant's a mess because it encompasses the entire
yep,
pantheon of
yeah, that's why I
lunacy.
turn it off most of the time.
That's why I say
It
Lutheran
fills
or
my
Church of England
calendar.
specifically, because if we wanna get into all the
Fills my
American
calendar.
things,
Uh,
There's not a weekend that it would be uncolored.
mhm. Well, I remember, like, reading medieval fantasy and instead of days of the week, they identify and years, everything's identified by saint days.
yeah.
Terra Ignota does that.
Mm,
Mm,
Whenever a certain character's point of view comes up, it's like this was the day of blank.
mhm.
yeah, nice. How do we feel about the world that this book is set in and the
Well, it's a
author
very
created?
tight focus.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, we know nothing really about the world or the government or anything other than that the Chicago mob seems to have its foot in things.
There's an amazingly effective PR campaign regarding that fire and magic causing it.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
But if I had magic, there's no way I'm putting on a second sense ward. No way, or at least
Would you
not all the time.
be do you think it would be intuitive magic or structured magic?
I don't understand why I can't have both.
Mm. I would definitely be structured. My brain just doesn't work intuitive.
Well, I guess, like, for Reed, right? He is both.
Yeah, it's a dichotomy that has no real correlate in like the real world, I would say.
Yes, it does. Cooking.
N- eh,
I do
all
structured cooking.
of
My
the
wife
best
does intuitive cooking.
mathematicians are intuitive and structured.
Oh, well, I can't talk about high math. I can talk about my home kitchen.
I think cooking is a good
I print out
analogy.
and follow recipes to the letter. My wife reads through the recipe once and throws it away and then does whatever she does.
Sure, sure. And there are both skills. People can be structured, people can be intuitive. There's absolutely nothing in the world that says you can't be both.
Yeah. My wife watches a YouTube reel with no list of ingredients, no measurements at all, and goes, "That's a great recipe," and duplicates it, or
Yep.
some version.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm just
I'm
sitting here
not saying
going,
intuition doesn't exist. I'm not saying inference isn't a natural mode of
no, but I'm
thinking.
saying that like with me and my wife especially, she is highly intuitive and that's how her personality, that's how she approaches life. I'm highly
Yep.
structured and that's how I approach life.
Yep.
You know, uh, some of our biggest misunderstandings was me telling her, "You did not say the words dot dot dot," and she's like, "I all but did," and I'm like, "Exactly, but did you didn't."
Absolutely. And for some people, these are real dichotomies in their thinking. But I
Mhm.
would say that true excellence in a field generally combines elements of both.
Oh, I'd agree. I'd agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a world which doesn't recognize that is a little hard for me to believe in.
Like, I've recognized that I will not, uh like, I could never start a business because I don't have the the instinct and the people skills to schmooze and work out deals and stuff like that.
Schmoozing.
I would be a great I'm the organizer, I'm not the people person, you know?
Mm.
And I know there are people who are both, and those are your people who become billionaires, and that's why I'm not one.
Schmoozing is only ethical when you do it in social deduction games, and other than that, it's manipulation.
Blood on the
All of
clock
life is
tower.
manipulation.
And that's why I can't work in sales.
Oh, I
No,
can't.
I can't work in
I've
sales because no one ever buys anything I'm selling.
Uh,
I mean, I would have to really, like, actually believe it to be able to
I
sell
would
it.
have to believe that I was selling the cure to cancer for $1 and just no one was listening to me. That's what it would take for me to work in sales.
Wow. Other thoughts or topics you guys wanna cover?
I'm interested in what comes next, for sure. I would pick this author up again,
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely be interested in the sequel.
and I would possibly buy this book for friends.
Aw. It is a nice, yeah, like, gift because it doesn't require that much for somebody
No,
to read it.
but I would probably pick it for friends who read a larger number of books per year.
Mhm.
Mm.
I'll probably give this to my granddaughter when she turns 16 or thereabouts.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be zealously, pushing this series like I would with the Terra Ignota, but
No. I mean, this isn't a top favorite book. No, but I would still give this book a 5 out of 5 just out of pure enjoyment of reading.
That's good.
It's not a great book, it's not a great piece of literature, but it's just very enjoyable,
Sometimes you just need to enjoy what you're reading.
you know? And I don't know how much of that is up to the people reading it, but, you know.
Mhm.
there's no world I give this book a 5 out of 5,
Mhm.
but there are worlds where I give it a 4.5 out of 5 for a debut author.
It's
Mm,
yeah. I mean, here's the thing. This is what I think about, and I try to remind myself when I'm, like, discussing books and somebody else's work that, 1, I've never published a book. So, the fact that this author has completed a manuscript, gone through this whole process, put this out in the world, and, when you put things out like this, any art, you really are putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, and so that's already a big accomplishment.
mhm.
And for me, this was not a disappointment for a debut. This was pretty solid, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was happily surprised.
Yeah.
As a romance, book, I was very, very happily surprised. I usually just not exactly zone
Roll
out,
your
but just
eyes.
don't resonate well. Yeah. I do a lot of eye rolling,
I did
you
reach
know.
the 48% mark, and I was like, "Okay, what I think is going to be the major point of the story is arriving any day now, and we've still got half the book left. What's
I did think
happening?
that
What's going
too.
to happen?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Also, this thing that I think is going to be the major point of the book doesn't seem as, enthralling as, I might want it to be.
What did you think it was gonna be?
Just their, like, university acceptances, and that's not.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, no, that was just a minor tension point to explain why she was in a bad mood one day.
I don't think it was, like, minor tension, but I think
Not
it was
minor. It was a it
it
was
was
a major point of the book, but it was not, the murder.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Although I
yeah.
did love the mom's reaction when she's like, "Oh, okay, well, you didn't get accepted, but you're applying again next year, right?" And Josie's like, "Wait,
Next
oh,
year,
I can apply next year.
Yeah, I
This
thought about
rejection
that
is not
point.
eternal."
And I think it's that she puts so much pressure on
Mhm.
herself and,
Oh,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
right, the assumption of all the bias and, like, disappointment from the family, especially from
Mhm,
her mother, that she was just like, "If I fail this, that's it. I'm a failure."
mhm,
And she just needed that gentle reminder, like, "It's not over."
well, she'd also put herself in a financial position where she was just barely able to afford being in Tressport.
True, true.
mhm,
And she lost her job at the start of the book, and she was still kind of recovering from that. And her financial instability, working for an apothecary that was probably going to have to close its doors one way or the other, unless a miracle happened, like she was going to have to radically shift her financial situation, probably. And that might
Yeah,
have involved her going back home and giving up on her dream of entering the university.
yeah.
mhm.
So it really also just shows how difficult it can be for a woman to be financially independent and pursue her goals in this world.
Yeah. Well, also for the guides too, right? Like
Mhm.
Sam
Oh,
and
yeah.
Philippe
And
and
then, I mean, and then we have Reed on the other hand, who has absolutely no safety net. He might end up on the streets if this apothecary goes under.
right.
Yep.
He might end up dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not really even in Josie's like window of conception.
Yeah, her worst case scenario is I have to go live with mommy and with mommy, whereas
Yeah.
Reed would end up on the streets.
Yeah. Which and admittedly, Reed on the streets is significantly more capable than Josie on the streets.
Yes, that is true.
Yes. But that's what I meant by they kept an like yes, they subverted a lot of gender stereotypes, but like this scenario, they kept it more or less. I don't know how true the statistic is, but I read somewhere that like a significant majority of homeless are men and stuff like that.
And also queer people.
Did not know
It's
that.
like 4 times as much
Yeah.
Huh.
the average rate.
I knew the suicide rate was up there. I didn't know about the homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like the way Reed tried to confront the danger while protecting his girl without looking like a chauvinist ass, and the way she came to his rescue without looking like, a feminist with something to prove and two giant chips on her shoulder. She was
Mm,
just, very concerned and wanted to help and was there. And he didn't get mad at her. He appreciated it. It's like everybody in that scenario reacted in the most positive way possible for that outcome.
Yeah.
And I just found that really enjoyable.
When she sees someone in need, the chip on her shoulder comes away
Uh huh.
because
Yeah.
she does quite consciously carry that chip in her professional life.
Which is a very
yeah.
maternal stereotype, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought it was portrayed very well.
I also appreciated the not dressing loudly in the office bit.
The
That
not
her
what?
that not dressing loudly in the office. How the secretarial pool, they all wore like dull drab clothing
Oh,
Uh-huh.
yes.
Yeah.
to fit in and not stand out, and her like choice to wear a maroon skirt or put
Right,
like some
right.
semblance of
Uh-huh.
effort into individuality in her outfit was probably one of the things that got her fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not conforming.
Well, that and you really don't wanna draw attention to yourself in a typing pool, especially if you can't spell.
No, if you can't spell, maybe, sure. But I don't know. There
I
shouldn't there
mean,
shouldn't be harm in standing out with your way of dress.
are you trying to get the boss's attention? I don't know.
I mean, just your choice of color, just like having
Yeah.
something other than beige. Come on.
Self-expression.
Mm, I don't know.
It's more self-expression.
I guess that's my personality is unless I have a reason, like, unless I'm pushing for a promotion or something, I find safety in anonymity of the herd.
I have many friends who find comfort in the color purple and experience emotional distress when it is not on their person.
Okay,
And
I'm
that's just the
almost
purple, folks.
indifferent to color.
Are you
So
colorblind?
partly.
Yeah, okay.
I don't see purples very well.
Well, anything else to add before we close? All right. So, thank you everyone for tuning in to our discussion on Letters from the Last Apothecary by Bita Behzadi. The book is out now. If you're looking for something to read for Pride Month, this could be a good one up your alley that is enjoyable, charming, and has a little bit of suspense to keep things interesting. And with that, we'll say goodbye until next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.